Good morning, everyone. I hope you're well. Um, if you were not able to join live and you are watching this recording later, or if someone has shared it with you, or you've come across it very randomly and you haven't joined from the beginning, for your benefit, I would strongly recommend you start at day one. And you can do one or two videos a day, but just work and do the practice and then catch up if you'd like to do that. And to those of you who've been here since the beginning of the journey, you're very, very welcome. It's lovely to see you again and lovely to have you all here. So, as always, I hope you're already aware of the breath. Perhaps when you enter the meeting room, you can start to be aware of the breath. So you can have your hands on your body or not if you don't need to. You can feel where the breath is coming in and out of the body. You can feel the air passing through the nostrils, through the nose, the inner walls of the nose. And just maintain that awareness while I'm chatting away. You can have your eyes open or closed at this point, it doesn't matter. So yesterday and the day before, we were talking a little bit about sleep. And I wonder if some of you have had a chance to practice that and if it's been helpful. And as you're falling asleep, I think that's when most people tend to realize how much the mind is chattering, because that's when we are kind of just alone with our thoughts. And it might make you wonder, why do we get lost and caught up in these thoughts? So, as I was saying, I think on the first day, the human mind goes through an average of about 60,000 thoughts a day. How come only some of them affect us? And how come when they do, they can derail us? Or they can make us really, really, really joyful and happy and then derail us? How can that happen in the matter of a day, a few hours, a few minutes? It's because this is what Swamiji taught me. It's that thoughts themselves have no intrinsic value. So, what that means is it's the emotional value that we give to a thought. So, you could have many, many random thoughts running through your mind, and you may just pick up one of them that you have some attachment to, some emotional attachment to, and that can trigger more thoughts that also create emotion. So, for example, you may think something is quite harmless. You may think of an apple very randomly. The thought of an apple may come into your head. You may think about the last time you ate a lovely, juicy apple. You may think about the last time you went to the supermarket and then you were doing your shopping and you filled your trolley and then you went to the checkout and you went to pay, and then you start thinking about your credit cards and maybe money and mortgages and house prices and inflation, and all of a sudden you're stressed. When if you just dropped the thought, this quite random thought perhaps of this apple coming in, you may not have gone down this tunnel of thoughts which you then had emotional attachment to. So, this is why when we are focusing on the breath, we try very hard to stay focused on the breath and ignore any thoughts coming in, even the ones that we think are quite harmless, because there is a correlation between the breath and the thoughts, which you might have noticed now that you're beginning to practice a bit more and becoming more aware. So, especially as you're falling asleep at night, if you're having difficulty falling asleep, do you remember we talked about laying on the right-hand side, counting down the breaths, see if that helps. I also have a post on my blog. It's called How to Get a Great Night's Sleep Every Night, where there are more tips in case you're having some difficulty, so you can have a read of that if you'd like to. So I'd like you to, we're going to extend the more concentrated practice that we're doing. So now I'd like you to close your eyes and take a deep breath. And instead of 3 breaths, I'd like you to try 5 breaths at a time with absolute focus. So just for clarity, I'll explain what we're doing is you take a deep breath and don't actively do anything after that. Then just allow 5 natural breaths to pass. So an inhalation, exhalation, a second inhalation, exhalation, a third and a fourth and a fifth. Very, very naturally, nothing to do, no changing the breath, no yogic breathing, nothing to do. Just take a deep breath. Be aware of 5 natural breaths passing and take a deep breath again and continue. And just remember, as the thoughts come in, they have no value, no importance, unless you give them importance. You can count 5 breaths if it helps you to count. And if you lose count, if the mind wanders off, that's fine. Just take a deep breath and come back and start again. We spend so much of our lives thinking about the past or worried about the future. That we can't enjoy what we have now. But if you anchor in the breath with absolute focus, and you drop the thoughts of yesterday and tomorrow and what's happened and what's to come. The mind has less and less to chatter about. As you go about your day to day, I'd like you to try and keep this awareness about you. Obviously, it's harder when our eyes are open and we're going about our day, but try and remember just to be aware of the breath somewhere, somehow in the body, in the nose, and as many times a day when you can sit still and quiet, see if you can do this exercise of maintaining awareness of 5 breaths at a time for a couple of minutes. And if you're comfortable, you can extend it by a minute or two more. Stay within whatever is comfortable for you, whatever you're able to do. Don't do too much and frustrate yourself. Just take it very, very gently. And another little kind of mindfulness tip or homework exercise you can do is think about when we finish this session today. Hopefully I assume you're sitting or laying down rather than standing, and at some point you will stand. I want you to be aware of which foot touches the ground first, or which foot you take a step from first. And not just when you leave this session, every single time today. Every time you get off a chair, every time you move from a seating position to a standing position, or a laying down position to a standing position and move. Imagine how many times in our lives we've done this. Are you aware whether you move with both feet coming off the end of your bed when you wake up in the morning, the side of your bed, or the right foot, or the left foot? So just be aware today, every time you're getting up, which foot moves first or touches the ground first? That's your homework for today. I'm going to check on you tomorrow. And the other thing is, I'm traveling today. I'm going to leave for the airport shortly. I'm not going very far, and I'm in the same time zone. So this is really important to me that we continue building this habit. So I'm taking my equipment with me, and I'm going to do my absolute best to make sure that we can still do it. I'm only away for 4 or 5 days. And so from where I'm going, hopefully I will still be able to see you and connect with you all tomorrow morning. So please continue the practice. Please continue diligently and just keep trying, because this is also what Swamiji says. If you keep digging in one spot diligently, one day water will spring forth from there. So don't give up. Keep trying. I know it doesn't feel like much is happening at the moment, but it really, really is. It really is. And thank you all. Thank you for your time. I love you all very much. I didn't expect to say that, but it just flows from me. Every time I'm just connected with you all, I really do feel that. And for the ones who do have their cameras on also, I really appreciate that, because it feels lovely that I can connect with you like this, and the smiles. Have a lovely day. And I will see you from where I'm going tomorrow. Hopefully it's going to be somewhere beautiful that I can show you. Take care. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye.